Alright YouTube, we have a John Deere in the shop now. This is my personal rig. It hasn't ran in probably 4 months or so. It went to the dealer. The dealer didn't want to have anything to do with it after like 4 weeks. They were fed up of trying to get it to work. So I took it back. I'm tired of them having it, not getting anything done on it really. So I brought it back and I sort of troubleshooted a little bit and I found out what's wrong. But yeah. So John Deere 345, I guess I'll start out that way. It's got a Kawasaki liquid-cooled FD611V, a whole bunch of stuff in there. The problems it was having is, well, at that point, it wouldn't stay running very long. It would just shut off as soon as you took jumper cables off of it or so. There's something wrong with the whole electrical system going on. As I guess I can see here now, I gotta clean the terminals now that this thing is sat and corroded. But yeah, so I have the technical manual for this tractor, which is right here. As you can see, there's a part number if you want it. This is for the 325, 335, and 345 later series. And they have a whole bunch of tests you can do to figure out what's wrong with your machine or whatnot. And I concluded that my voltage regulator was bad. There's some kind of regulated amperage test I did. You pretty much are testing current through certain circuits to see if they are there or not. And I got that I needed a new regulator or rectifier or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I'm doing. It should be that part right there. I'm kind of fed up with John Deere at this point because their parts are super expensive and they don't last very long. I've replaced like 3 circuit boards in this thing, so I decided to go aftermarket with this one. It's aftermarket, the one's supposed to fit it. To be honest, I'm not really sure what the part number is for this, but it's just type in your tractor and voltage regulator, it should pop up. But that's what we're going to replace today. I think this just maintains a certain voltage throughout the tractor. But like I was saying, I've replaced so much stuff on this thing, it's not even funny. This circuit board's been replaced a whole bunch of times. This hood's falling apart. You can see how many cracks I got in it. Right there, right here. Cracked along, cracked off. The whole top cracked off. The bumper cracked off. The other day I got a soldering iron and tried to melt all these pieces back together into themselves, and I put some metal duct tape onto it to help hold it together. So far it's holding together decently. It's a temporary fix. I don't want to spend the $600 to get a new hood yet. So yeah. Alright, so let me get set up here to get this voltage regulator replaced, and I'll get right back with you guys. Okay YouTube, so now that I'm set up here, the first thing you want to do, you don't really have to do this, but I'm going to suggest it, is take out the battery. In this tractor it's pretty difficult to take it out just because of how wedged in it is in there. So what you want to do first here is take off your radiator shroud here, like that. 2 pieces, it's a big one and a little one. That comes off like that. Okay, next thing you want to do is work on your battery terminals here. Mine are really corroded, as you can see. I'll clean them up before I stick this battery back in here. But my battery bolts are a 12 millimeter, and I think I've replaced them before, so that might not be the same for yours. But what you want to do is just loosen them up. Mine are pretty badly corroded. I actually had the pads on there for it. Keep it from corroding, but I guess they don't work. This thing has sat for a little while, so it might not work as it is. And when you're doing this, just be careful when you're doing your wrench not to accidentally touch the other terminal, because you can get some sparks going there. That comes from personal experience. I've actually burnt up a wrench doing that. Alright. And a lot of times if it's corroded like this, it'll oftentimes eat through the bolt, corrosion. This tractor for some reason always gets corroded. Even I put on pads, I've done the Vaseline thing, I've coated the terminals in that spray grease. Nothing stops it from corroding, or I haven't found anything. Probably because the battery's missing, but not the battery, the hood is missing, gets exposed to all kinds of elements. Alright, so these generally you just put a screwdriver in there, give them a little prying. They can be stiff in there after a while. Loosen up like so. And this one, I know everybody's got like a different personal preference in what battery terminal or what side they jump start first. This one's really dirty, so try to knock off this stuff before get going. Try to help us get it off. But you want to sort of jam something in there to pry up against. I think these terminals are made of lead, so they're kind of soft, so just be cautious of that. That one's loose, as you can see. That one's probably the worst of the two, so I'm going to get that one off. Or attempt to, at least. I know this negative side terminal's been replaced before. I'm going to get a little hammer just to give it a little quick tap. Try to break it loose here. Sometimes it needs that extra little oomph. They're pretty picky here. I guess I'll take this positive off first. When you take them off, try to put it back in its boot like that and try to keep it clear, since this is gonna try to keep it clear of any other metal. That positive was a lot easier. This negative is going to be stubborn. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet it's corroded through that bolt again. I have my mallet. I always have some kind of electrical problem with this machine. You can already tell this is going to be a lengthy video on getting this thing done, just because working on these 300 series tractors is just a pain. If you've had any luck with any type of terminal cleaner or anything, let me know, because I have not found one, at least on this machine, that works halfway decent. Alright guys, I'm not going to let you sit here and bore you. Let me get this thing off and I'll get right back at you. Okay, 10 minutes later and I got the terminal off. Pretty easy. Next thing you want to do is remove the little rubber strap that holds the battery in. Pretty easy. It pops off on the left side here and comes off like that. Now, removing this battery can be kind of tricky just because they didn't give you enough space. You're gonna, no matter what you do, you're gonna have to angle the battery out of there, so just keep an eye out for like battery acid and stuff. I find it helps if you remove these plugs here. That generally makes it a little easier. Push those off to the side. And be careful when you're pulling the battery out not to hit them. And if you take off the radiator cap, it gives you a little bit more room, I think, to get it out. But my battery has a little handle. It helps if I have a handle, and just want to lift it right out of there. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to try the other method here. Go on this side and try to slide it out of this little pocket. Now hopefully you guys are starting to see why these 300 series machines suck to work on. Yeah, I'm going to pull these wires down here, try to squeeze it through this gap. I wonder if it would be better to go up or over. Every time I take this battery out, I try to find an easier way, and I've yet to find one. There we go. There it goes. All right, battery's out. So you can see that's one way to do it. Really stupid design if you ask me. I would have maybe scooted the radiator up a little bit more. Definitely, I'm pretty sure it's not this way in the newer machines. Clip back those. Alright, back to this. For your voltage regulator, it's actually behind here. You might be able to see it. Yeah, right? That little box right here is your voltage regulator, and is attached on the back of this battery box. And that's my battery box is pretty rusty because this battery is awful. Leaks all over the place, but still tests good. So I think that's its third one of those John Deere batteries. All right, since I took it out the other way, I'm gonna put these caps back on. Don't need them. But I'll get back to you guys again here in a second once I get it situated underneath. Thanks. All right, YouTube. So I got this battery here. This is for that tractor I just pulled out. Obviously, it is a John Deere Performance. I really think this is not the right battery for it. I thought they took like the Tough Box battery, or maybe a smaller one. I don't know what John Deere series of batteries is, but this one is not the best. You think John Deere would put a pretty good battery in their machines, but this is just a really expensive, not too great battery. I have to recharge it every year, which sucks. But generally it holds a charge. Doesn't have any problems. It's really heavy, and it's like the size of a battery for a Honda Civic or a Sentra or something like that. But I'm going to try to clean it up here for you. So I got the little terminals on. I don't know if those do anything or not, but got a little terminal cleaner. You can buy these at Harbor Freight. They just stick on like that. Turn like so. The terminals are actually pretty clean. I think it's mainly the cables that are pretty dirty. But I'll try my best here to get it cleaned up. Generally, battery terminals are really soft, so it doesn't take much wire brushing to get into something relatively clean. Let me push off all this corrosion I've already taken off here. I'll sweep this up later. I've used I think my Zero Turn has an Interstate battery in it. The LT155 has like a Everstart in it, I think. I think the Interstate batteries last pretty good. Let me see if I can get some kind of non-corrosive chemical clean. This should work okay. This is just your house. It's just a household cleaner, Pine Sol. Do a quick spray. Trying to slow the corrosion down a bit. Clean off some of this dirt. Once you have corrosion, it's really hard to get rid of. Generally, it keeps coming back and coming back. That's what I find. Clean this up, make it halfway decent. I don't know if this thing's still under warranty. Probably not. Should have probably taken it in when it was still under warranty when it failed. I think those numbers are not right. But yeah, let me pop these caps off, make sure they're sealing okay, because we do have some spilt, do have some rust issues on there. I think it's from battery acid, but just be careful when you're popping these off. Generally, they tend to pop off pretty quick like that, and you don't want battery acid in your eyes or anything. But all the cells in there are good. Nothing really going on in there. That looks all good. Yeah, you can definitely see here, at least on this thing. Right here, you can see the acid's been escaping. Try to clean that off, make it a better sealing surface there. Keep it from escaping again. Throw that back on there. Of course, should be using gloves. I try to clean it a little bit before I go crazy. There you go, clean battery. Wash your hands after doing this. Let me get this back in there. Okay, so the regulator is held on by these two bolts right here. They're held on by these two little 10mm bolts on the other side. There's also a big plug that plugs into it. I've already gone underneath and unplugged it. It is kind of difficult to get your hands under there and get it unplugged. It looks like you might have enough tension to undo all the bolts first, then pull it up and unplug it. But I did it the other way just to be safe. Also, you might want to put like an electrical cleaner in there and a dielectric grease in there to prevent it from seizing and to clean it up in there a little bit. This one's pretty dirty, but unfortunately I'm all out of terminal cleaner. I couldn't find any, so I might go in there with a screwdriver and sort of rough up this terminal surface there and make sure it gets good contact. But I already got one bolt off on there, so you want to get in there and get your little wrench or whatever you're going to use onto that bolt. If I can catch it. There it is. Approach from the other side, maybe make it a little easier. Of course, I haven't done this yet before, you guys, so I'm sort of working as I go here, figuring out how to do it. So, I mean, if I don't do it right the first time, I'm sorry. I haven't done one of these a voltage regulator in 345 before. Trying to tighten it and then loosen it so it breaks a little easier, but judging by the terminal in here, looks like I might have to use the Of course, John Deere didn't give you much room to work on this here. And it doesn't help that the whole thing is corroded, so I think the hardest part about this job I found is actually finding where the voltage regulator is. I think when I first started looking for it, I was thinking it was down here somewhere, and it wasn't. It's on the back of this. Alright, let me go see if I can find maybe a smaller wrench that'll fit in there. Okay, I'm going to try a 10 mil socket here. Well, as you guys can see, this is why I don't like working on this tractor. A lot of guys were commenting on my, I can't remember what video I said I didn't like working on this machine. It's mainly because everything is so tight in here, and it's so finicky. It's not consistent with a lot of its faults, I guess. Like one day it'll be acting out doing something, and the next day it'll be something different. It's, I guess bipolar would be a good way to describe it. But alright, I got that bolt off here. Be careful, make sure you keep both nuts. My new one didn't come with any bolts, so. I had some spray paint. I'd probably spray paint this battery box so I have it open, but I'm not going to bother right now because I don't think I have black spray paint. Yeah, I think I have red and like a hammered, but I don't think I have black. But there you go, there's the other nut, and it should just come right off. Yep. Alright, so you can see there's the old one. Pretty nasty, pretty corroded. Definitely seen better days. I'm guessing maybe battery acid got onto it or something. I know the new John Deere one isn't painted, but the one I got here is painted. And as you can see, the aftermarket one, the bolts holes line up. That's good. And the terminals will be the same, I guess. Be like that, but we'll deal with that when we go to reconnect it. So you can see that one is a goner. Hopefully that's what's wrong. By the looks of it, it's probably time anyway. But yep, there's the new one. What we got to put in. This part, I think it was 46 bucks. This one. I think John Deere was asking, I think 80 for theirs, and theirs wasn't even painted like this. So I guess we'll just make this all one click and reinstall it here. Alright YouTube, to go against what I said earlier, I did find some spray paint and sanded this battery box down and painted it with some gloss black paint. That's all I had. But I was going to take the whole box out. I thought this was like a separate piece, but it's actually bolted to this this whole top assembly, so you can't actually, it's welded to the whole top assembly, so you can't really get it out. So I had to paint it in there. So another design flaw by John Deere at that one. Put the paint on to keep it from rusting and corroding and whatnot, and I painted the tops and the nuts just for the looks, I guess. And for those of you guys who wanted the part numbers for the voltage regulator, there's all the numbers or whatnot. This is not John Deere, of course. I think it's Steins or Stens. I don't know, but it should work. Alright, so here's the new voltage regulator. I'm going to do this on the other side here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can too. So this is pretty easy to mount back in. Just put it in the same way you took it out. The bolts are squared off at the end, so don't really have to hold them on when you're trying to screw them in. There you go. Okay, those are in. Now you want to get your nuts started here. There it is. These are 8 mil. I mean, not 8 mil, 10 mil. Sorry about that. Just dropping all kinds of stuff today, you know. Okay, so got this screw back here. You gotta try switching nuts, make it go on a little easier. This one's like always being stubborn. There it goes. And I'm gonna use the, well, hopefully use the 10 mil socket. Actually, it does feel like I won't be able to use this the whole time because there's a little block off of where the bolts go. You can actually do a lot of this underneath the tractor if you wanted to, but I opted against that. I unplugged it underneath the tractor, and it just sucks working under there because it's so dusty and whatnot. Everything just falls in your face, even if you do have glasses or something on. Still gets all over. Alright, let me get these tightened up. This thing's going to be a pain. I'll get back to you. Okay, YouTube, the last little bit here is plugging the actual regulator up. I pulled this cable out from underneath there just to show you and make it easier. Remember to clean those terminals out a bit. And the one that plugs right into it, you can see right there, it's hanging down. You can do this from underneath, or you can do it above. I'm just choosing to do it above to make it easier. It's right there. You just want to clip the two together. Make a nice little connection. So I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully you can see me here. I'm going to try to do it one-handed. This might not go too well. I know taking this clip off wasn't easy. Most of these old plastic clips on these John Deeres are either really difficult to get off, or like you end up cracking the clip or something like that. I'm doing this. There it goes. So, just slide her on there best you can. It can be a little tricky sometimes. I'm gonna put you guys down for a second and get two hands on. Okay, YouTube, so like 20 minutes later, after struggling with that clip for a while, I ended up undoing it off the back again, pulling it back through, and working on it again on the top side. I ended up having to use clamps to pull it in, but eventually it clipped in, which is good. Now we have to reinstall the battery pretty much the same way you took it out. I'm just going to keep with going with the one method. Once again, I tried to clean up the battery terminals a bit more. I put some baking soda and whatnot on there, try to add some a base to slow down the corrosion. Might work, might not, who knows. And now we're going to add another thing on top of it to do. Excuse my cruddy paint job. I was kind of upset I couldn't take it off there, but we'll roll with it. So just when you put your battery back in, make sure you put it in the right way. Not my tractor. Positive goes to the right hand side of the tractor, just like that. Should go in. I'm gonna clean off that side there. It's pretty nasty. Baking soda got onto it. Really, I only repainted it so it stops rusting. I don't want to have to tear down this whole machine again to paint it, so you may as well clean it, repaint it while it's off. Even if you do a somewhat cruddy job, at least it'll keep the rust a little bit at bay. I used Rust-Oleum in hope that it would keep it at bay a little longer. Okay, next thing you want to do is get your strap that you took off earlier, which is this rubber strap holds it in. You need to start on the other side. Take you with me here. When you first put this strap in, it's easier to start on this side. You have a little gap over there. You need to push it in over here like so, and it'll hold tight in there. You can adjust it however which way you need it. I think, yeah, there we go. See, it just slides in there. You're gonna pull your battery back over like that, flush against it, and then sort of thread that on that side so you can get it. So on this side, you just you want to clip it into that little hook over there. I don't really know how the new tractors are laid out, but you might need 2 hands for this, so give me hook you back in the tripod here. Pull it tight, like so. Hook it in like that, slot like that. Hopefully you can see that, yeah. See, nice and tight in there. And once again, if you can see how tight that battery's in there. It looked pretty easy when I put it in this tide compared to the last time, but it's a pain. I think my other tractor, is really easy. It has like a little metal slot you just pull right out. But this sort of makes it difficult. Next thing you want to do is throw your battery cables in. That one is corroded within that cable, and I don't want to break it, but I put some coating, cleaned it with baking soda and some Pine Sol and whatnot, try to get it off. But yeah, I put the positive side on first. Here's the positive side, all quote unquote cleaned up. Here's the bolt for it. I might try to scrub that a little bit. Actually, we'll do that now. Just a little bit here, so I'm gonna brush it off a bit, try to slow some of this corrosion down. None of my other machines have corrosion problems on this. There must be some kind of voltage leak on this or something. Maybe the new voltage regulator will help. Who knows? I know when I pulled the battery out, what I didn't show you guys is I tested the voltage on the battery, and it was 0.02 volts. So that won't accomplish anything. So I had it on the charger for a while, and hopefully long enough, but that's all I'm going to get to there. But since these are square bolts, they actually go in pretty easily. So, like so. You'll realize why I have gloves on here in a second. Get that nice in there, and get its bolt. Now eventually these bolts you're going to have to replace. These bolts, battery bolts, are pretty standard. You can get these at like Walmart, I think, even. So there's no huge, you need to go buy the John Deere ones or whatnot. No, and I think they're relatively cheap. Alright, so I need a big one. 1/2? Yeah, 1/2. Hopefully. Yep. Just crank that down. Sometimes your terminal will be too big. Too small. Seen that happen before, and the cable is too big, and so they won't get tight. What you want to do in that situation is you get a piece of metal. Band clamp works really well. You take the metal strip off a band clamp, you wrap it around this terminal, and that'll give it oftentimes give it enough something to grab onto to tighten down. And that works good. I've used just a copper strip. That works well. But yeah. Okay, now you're going to see why I have the... actually, no, I'll do that after I get the negative. I'm going to coat it in something so that it doesn't corrode again, hopefully. You know how these things go. Yep. Get this negative on. Still has a little baking soda in it, so I'm going to clean that out. Like so. And that one's going to need a little tap. Don't remember, this is the one that was giving us problems to take off. So tap. That one's pretty tight on there already, actually. And let's grab the bolt. I think this bolt is corroded through also. This will be like, I've already replaced these bolts and nuts multiple times. And I think you guys are starting to see why I don't do repair videos often. Mainly because they go on and on and on. Little things pop up that make it super difficult to, I gotta sit there and edit a super long video. I got a few suggestions. Some people asked me to do some more tractor videos. So that's what I'm working on. Alright, so that's good and tight on there. I'm going to wire brush it off real quick again. You can see just more and more corrosion. What do you know? Get nice and clean. I've heard Coke works really good at cleaning corrosion off. I think I've used it before too, but yeah. Okay, this is what I'm going to use for battery terminal stuff. This is bag balm. When I worked on a farm, we used this. It's like a kind of Vaseline-like substance. It has a really strong smell to it, but it's mainly for I think use on cows. We always used it on our hands, but I'll let you pause it and read it if you want to figure out what exactly it does. Yeah, see, it's a petroleum, so that should help. Just it should be like Vaseline, hopefully. But that's what I'm going to use. I mean, anything is better than nothing at this point, because I've used Vaseline before and it didn't help. So just going to get some of it, rub it onto the terminals. Hopefully this isn't a mistake and like bag balm is super corrosive or something. That'd suck. But I think I read online before that you can use bag balm just fine. But you see, you just lather it up on there real good. Go do the positive side now. This is actually going to be one of the last few repairs in my small shop. I'm going to be moving to the other shop here soon. Once the floor is done, I'll plan on doing an update video on that here soon too. I'm going to be pretty liberal with this stuff in hopes that it works decent. It's going to collect dust, but I'd rather have dust on it than corrosion. But alright, you can get this stuff on your hands. I just don't feel like I get my hands all oily. But, pull that off. all right. You can see I got them pretty well coated in bag balm. So hopefully that prevents it from corroding up. But I guess I'll try to keep you guys updated on how that works. If it works good, I'll let you know. Bag balm's pretty cheap, and I think they sell off-brand of it too. So yeah, that concludes this video. I mean, I took the hood off mine, but that's pretty easy to throw back on. But yeah, if you have any questions or need help putting your Deere back together or need to know the location of some parts, I got that big service manual that pretty much tells me how to do everything. And if you need anything, let me know. Thanks. Alright, YouTube, so I guess I'll show you it starting up now that it actually runs. So it's going to be hard because I got to get to the choke and the starter at the same time. Alright, it's running now. I guess till the next breakdown, I think maybe a hood is in order here soon and a big old brush guard maybe. We'll see. Thanks for watching.